you're up at Crimmins today. Obviously, it's the big world qualifier round for Crimmins, and obviously it's Cowdenbeath tomorrow. You're obviously up because you're one of the Brisca scrutineers. Do you want to explain what happened? Because obviously, from my grandson point of view, who knows what really happened? And obviously, we heard people parts of the car. What is your role as a scrutineer? And what are you checking for?
Okay, right, well...
You want to come across and have a look at the show?
Yes, okay, so you've kind of got two sides to scrutineering. The primary role of the scrutineers at a meeting, before the meeting, is to check that the cars are safe. And so that's really our primary role here, is to make sure they're safe. You've also then got the technical side of it as well, to make sure the cars are running legal and equal. You know, everybody wants to be sure that if they're getting beaten by a legal car. Yeah. So in terms of safety, we can run through a bunch of safety things on the car. The scrutineers will check. So the driver, to start with, has the driver, Adam's just posing for us here, but make sure that the driver's got their fireproof suit. They've got Yes, fireproof gloves, balaclava. Make sure that their helmet is to the ORCI spec as well. So that's some sort of key things in terms of the driver. Then also we're looking at the car. So we're looking at various things. The fuel line, make sure that the fuel line is one of the things. Make sure that's connected and has a secondary fixing on it. Also, the throttle return springs, as an example. So, you know, I don't want anybody with a stock throttle. We had somebody at Bristol last week that did, caused an awful lot of damage. He never actually raced in the meeting because he had a stuck throttle. So, some things on the engine there we have to look at from a safety point of view. The front bumper here, you'll see on a lot of tarmac cars, front bumpers are detachable, so they can bolt them on and off. So, yeah, you prang it in the wall, especially on this front corner, stick that in the wall, you'll bend that round into the tyre. You want to quickly be able to change it rather than try and weld it up. So bumpers are allowed to be bolted on, but in big crashes you can shear the bolt. So we have a secondary chain holding the bumper on, and the number of times that secondary chain has done its job, I'd lose count of that. So that's another safety feature. Absolutely. Yes. So you go down the car, you're looking at the battery. We don't want any sparking, any shorting, so we make sure the battery's got cover over it. The fuel tank there, is the fuel tank secure on the car? Does the breather come away from the exhaust? We don't want the breather, if there was any leaks there, we don't want that dropping any fuel on the exhaust in the crash. So we'll do that. We'll look at the seat and the safety harness. Yeah, it's the safety harness. So the safety harness, obviously a key feature of safety, and the seat. So are they secure in the car? I mean, down where Adam's got his hands at the moment, in the base of the car, you're looking at we've got steel plates in there that protect the driver's feet. We've got a steel floor, again protecting the driver. There's steel sides to the cab as well. So just make sure that the car is built with the required safety inbuilt to it. Obviously here Adam's taken the wheel guard off, probably to get it in the trailer, my guess is, but again, is the wheel guard safely bolted on? So that's the key things at a pre-meeting safety check. We're looking for the safety of the car and the driver. So that's one of my roles. I generally don't do that too often, because I'm, as the Chief Technical Consultant for Brisca F2, then it's my job to look more at the technical things and help out the track scrutineers where necessary. So here at Crimmins today, yes, we've had 30 cars. You know, that's probably twice what Crimmins normally get. So it's been a busy day for scrutineers. So yeah, I come up for this meeting and help out on the safety side, but we'll also do some technical checks. So for example, today I was looking at tyres. So Brisca F2 has a standard spec tyre, so we want to make sure that A, everybody's using that, and B, they're not doing anything to the tyre that they shouldn't do. So the tyre has to be used in its standard form. They can cut them down, cut tread off it, but what you cannot do is you can't cut new tread into it, you can't treat it with softener, you can't do anything else to it like that. So I've had a chemical sniffer out today, so a little yellow box people may have seen me with, which is sniffing for chemicals coming off the tyre. We also test the hardness of the tyres, and I've been looking at the code numbers on tyres as well, seeing how they correlate to hardness of tyres, etc. So that's one of the technical checks I've been doing today, and that's not something we would normally expect a local track scrutineer to be doing. And you know, a chemical sniffer is an expensive device, so we don't expect that Brisca had that before I attended the technical scrutineer. I believe they're in the region of £2,000-3,000 for a chemical sniffer. So yeah, it's an expensive little kit, and you know, I go all over the country doing it in different places, so that no one knows where I'm going to turn up, when I'm going to turn up, when I'm going to be checking.
So cost, but do you see the difference in the driver of the performance of the tyre, like of the car, or?
I think it's evened out the racing quite a bit. Just looking at the racing, it looks much harder for the red tops to come from the back of the field. Reds do struggle early on in the race to a certain extent, but it is hard work because it's evened up the field, I think, and I think the tyre has done good for Brisca too. I don't think it was a bad choice. Whether the alternate tyre that we were testing would have been any better, who knows? That would be an unanswered question. But what we've got, I think is working out, and it's a cheap tyre. Yes, it's a cheap tyre. People have said the sidewalls are a bit soft. Well, yes, for 50 quid for a tyre, we're not. Drivers don't want to be paying £200 for a tyre, especially with those sharp front bumpers. You put a bumper through the tyre, it's quite easy to do.
Because I have seen like other drivers, like in the baseball as well, they've got a tyre just for one race, so kind of how does that?
Yes, it's these certainly as long as you get the wear out of these, and people are saying that they wear a lot better, which is really good. They're a harder tyre, certainly. When I'm testing with the hardness tester, it's certainly reading harder than the previous tyres. So from that point of view, it's going to wear better. There doesn't seem to be an advantage to throw on a new set like there used to be with the hardness. So it doesn't seem to be that advantage, whether there is or not. There's a different story. Yes.
Because obviously, it's never been. Obviously, last weekend we had a caravan weekend, so there were a lot of new people down in Stock Car Racing. Never seen an FT before. Obviously, watching lots of videos. Obviously, different cars have got different colours. Do you want to explain to people
Certainly,
what that colour means? And kind of, obviously, Adam here's got the blue just now. What the grades are and what they'll mean. Because obviously, we've seen one of the champion.
Yes.
Champions,
so Formula 2s are done it's a bit like football leagues. So drivers score points in races, and you will generally score points in the top 10, and a league table is kept. Every month, drivers can move up or down a grade. So like football, where you've got second division, first division, championship, Premier League, you've got white grades with the lowest points, yellows are the next, blues, and then reds. So people each month will move up and down the grades like you would each year in the football division, moving up or down a division. So the more points you score, the further up the list you go, and therefore you will change your colour as you move up. So yes, we say white tops, novices, those with the lowest points, yellows, blues like Adam here, although Adam is often a red top, obviously with the problems he had last year, then dropped down in points, but we used to see an Adam with a red roof on there. And then there are a few special roofs as well. So there's a gold roof for the World Champion, the National Point Series Champion has a silver roof, the British Champion has black and white checkers, the European has red and yellow checkers, the Gala Champion gets red and white checkers, the World of Shale Champion gets 2 gold stripes, and they are particular roof colours just for those World Championships, but generally, yes, you're one of the 4 colours.
Yeah, so obviously, going further around the car, would there be any more that you would so further around just now, any more that you would maybe have any safety concerns, just in scrutineering, or?
We've talked about most of the scrutineering and safety checks we generally do. You can see there's a red handle. That is a handle for infield marshals. If a driver has a crash, if the car is on fire, if the driver is unconscious, for example, then that marshal can pull that, and that will turn off the ignition. It will just turn off the car. So again, nobody's got to reach in. If there's a fire or anything, obviously the fuel tank is underneath where Adam's sat at the moment. The engine's at the front. At the back here is the least likeliest place to be on fire, and therefore a marshal could quickly get to that, pull it, and turn it off. Yes, so that's another thing at the safety checks. In terms of the rest of the car, there is a very technical rule book that will tell you how to build a car. And for example, the grade of steel, the thickness of the tube, the size of the tube that you can use for the roll cage, the chassis, the bumpers. So I have a device, for example, that it's a bit like doing ultrasound for a lady when she's pregnant. I've got an ultrasound device that can test the thickness of metal without having to drill it or cut it. So that's another tool that I've got. Again, hundreds of pounds to buy one of those tools, but again, I can then test the roof plate over his head, for example, providing that protection has to be a minimum of 3mm steel. So I can test that. So there's a lot of things. As I say, it's a big rule book, and there's plenty there to go at. So what I tend to do in my role going around the country is pick 2 or 3 things, check every car at one meeting for 2 or three things, and those things are then different meetings as I go through the year. And that way, A, drivers don't know what I'm checking, so they need to be right on everything. But B, it's about consistency. It's about treating everybody equally. So that I'm not just picking on Adam or picking on Gordon Moody or picking on Robbie Dawson or whoever. It's about treating every driver the same, because that's all drivers want. They want to be treated equally.
So obviously I've noticed as well, I've got our sticker here. What happens if when they get that, but if it's completed, does that mean that they pass, or what happens next?
Okay, so that sticker, Adam only got when he passed all the safety checks. So there's a process at every track. Every driver has to sign in. Every driver has to get scrutineered. So that shows that Adam's been scrutineered and we were happy with the checks we did on his car. There were a number of people today who at the first time didn't get the sticker. So one, for example, the pull cord that we showed you, the red handle, when one of our scrutineers pulled that, he actually pulled the handle right off. So the cable broke and it came out. Well, obviously that would be no good if a driver was on fire on the track. So he obviously got sent away. He didn't get his sticker. He had to go and fix that and then come back. A bit like an MOT on your road car. If you fail, then you have to get it fixed before they pass you at the MOT. So again, we sent drivers away. They came back and they got their safety check sticker. Those stickers then can be checked by the pit gate marshal or pit marshal or whoever to say, right, yeah, okay, yeah, we got today's sticker. So today's the different colours for every meeting you go to, or different dates on them, obviously. So they say, yeah, he's got a yellow sticker. That's today. We let him out on track.
Obviously, like for example, a championship meeting, obviously they go straight into scrutiny. Is anything taped so they can't change anything?
Right, so it depends on the championship and what it is. So the World Championship, for example, the winner of the World Final will go straight into the scrutineering shed and their car will be impounded there and we will then start stripping it and checking it for that big championship. At other places, the championship may be early in the meeting, in which case they then want to carry on racing. So what we will do is we have some metal seals. We use, people always laugh at me, but I carry around nail polish because nail polish is very good for painting the heads and bolts. Because once it goes hard and it won't come off easy. But we will seal things like the carburettor, for example, or seal the camshaft cover on the top of the engine so that we would know if it's been tampered with after the championship. But that way we can seal the engine and then let the driver carry on racing, because obviously the fans have paid their money to come and see the drivers race. And then at the end of the meeting we can then check the seals and then do the checks we need to.
So obviously after you've done that, you're happy and that.
Yes.
Obviously, I know this there's obviously the big anxious wait of overnight. Just when you can speed week and that as well.
Yes. Yeah, we try to. Now, certainly the world is obviously the biggest one, and we will have the engine out of the car. We will take the engine to pieces and make sure the internals are good, because as a spec engine formula, then we're not going to take an engine apart today, for example, unless somebody protested it. But at the World Final, we will do. Yes. So make sure they've not got oversized pistons, for example, or they so it does get stripped out like that. Yes. So we try and do that at the World before the meeting finishes, so that we can at least announce and confirm the winner is the winner. Yes.
No, very interesting. I think obviously focusing on, as I said, they also find that interesting as well to kind of feel like, oh yeah, it's the process of scrutiny. It's definitely helped to answer all those questions. That, but yeah, well, thank you very much.
No, you're very welcome. No problem.